Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn English with Podcasts. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma. In today's episode, we're going to explore two of the most fundamental aspects of English grammar, the present and past tenses. We'll break down the different forms of these tenses and give you plenty of examples and situations to help you understand how to use them correctly.
That's right, Emma. Whether you're talking about something that's happening right now, something that happens regularly, or something that happened in the past, mastering these tenses is essential for clear communication in English. Let's dive right in. Emma, let's start with the present tenses. What are the main forms of the present tense that learners need to know?
The main forms of the present tense are the present simple, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Each of these forms has its own specific use, depending on the situation.
That's a great start. Let's break them down one by one, starting with the present simple.
The present simple tense is used for habitual actions, general truths, and situations that are always true. It's the tense we use to talk about things that happen regularly or facts that don't change.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. Here are a few examples. Habitual actions: I drink coffee every morning. General truths: the earth orbits the sun. Permanent situation: she lives in New York.
So, if I want to say something that I do as a habit, like exercising every day, I would say I exercise every day, right?
Exactly, Jack. And if you're talking about something that is always true, like a scientific fact, you'd use the present simple as well.
Now, let's move on to the present continuous tense. When do we use this tense, Emma?
The present continuous tense is used for actions that are happening right now, temporary situations, or future plans that have already been arranged.
Could you give some examples?
Of course. Actions happening now: I am speaking English. Temporary situations: she is staying with her parents for the summer. Future plans: we are meeting them for dinner tonight.
So, if I'm talking about something I'm doing right now, like I'm listening to music, I'd use the present continuous.
Exactly, Jack. And remember, this tense is also perfect for talking about temporary situations or plans you've made for the near future.
Emma, what about the present perfect tense? When should learners use it?
The present perfect tense is used for actions that started in the past and continue to the present, for life experiences, or for actions that have just been completed and have relevance to the present.
Examples would be great here.
Absolutely. Actions continuing from the past: I have lived in London for 5 years. Life experiences: she has visited Japan. Recent actions with present relevance: he has just finished his homework.
So, if I've been studying English for 3 years, I would say I have studied English for 3 years, right?
Yes, but it's even more common to say, I have been studying English for 3 years, using the present perfect continuous, especially when emphasizing the ongoing nature of the action. Let's discuss that next.
What's the difference between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous?
The present perfect continuous is used to emphasize the duration of an activity that started in the past and is still continuing or has recently stopped. It often focuses on how long something has been happening.
Could you give us some examples?
Sure. Emphasizing duration: I have been working here since 2010. Recent actions with emphasis on duration: they have been playing tennis for 2 hours.
So, if I want to say that I've been working on a project for a long time, I would say I have been working on this project for months.
Exactly, Jack. The present perfect continuous is great for highlighting the duration of ongoing activities.
Now that we've covered the present tenses, let's move on to the past tenses. What are the main forms we should focus on?
The main forms of the past tense are the past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Just like with the present tenses, each of these has a specific use depending on the situation.
Great. Let's start with the past simple tense.
The past simple tense is used to talk about actions that were completed at a specific time in the past. It's the most common way to talk about past events or actions.
Can you provide some examples?
Definitely. By specific past events: I visited Paris last year. Completed action: she finished her homework last night. Past habits: when I was a child, I walked to school every day.
So, if I'm talking about something I did yesterday, like going to the store, I would say, I went to the store yesterday.
Exactly, Jack. The past simple is perfect for talking about specific actions that happened and ended in the past.
How about the past continuous tense? When do we use it, Emma?
The past continuous tense is used for actions that were ongoing at a specific time in the past or to set the scene in a story. It's often used to describe what was happening at a certain moment.
Examples?
Here they are. Ongoing actions in the past: I was reading a book when the phone rang. Setting the scene: they were watching TV when the lights went out.
So, if I want to describe what I was doing at a specific time in the past, like I was cooking dinner at 6 p.m., I'd use the past continuous.
Exactly. The past continuous is great for describing actions that were in progress at a particular time.
Emma, what about the past perfect tense? How does it differ from the past simple?
The past perfect tense is used to describe an action that was completed before another action in the past. It's like looking back from a past moment to an earlier time.
Could you give some examples?
Of course. Earlier action in the past: she had already left when I arrived. Another example: by the time we got to the theater, the movie had started.
So, if I want to say that I had eaten dinner before I went out, I would say I had eaten dinner before I went out.
Exactly, Jack. The past perfect is perfect for showing that one action happened before another in the past.
Finally, let's talk about the past perfect continuous tense. When do we use it, Emma?
The past perfect continuous tense is used to emphasize the duration of an action that was happening before another action in the past. It often shows that something had been going on for some time before something else happened.
Examples?
Certainly. Duration: before another action, they had been waiting for an hour before the bus finally arrived. Another example: I had been studying for 3 hours when she called.
So, if I want to say that I had been working all day before I went to the party, I would say I had been working all day before I went to the party.
Exactly, Jack. The past perfect continuous emphasizes how long something had been happening before another event in the past.
Emma, how do we combine these tenses in everyday conversation?
Combining tenses is all about understanding the timeline of events. You might use the present perfect to talk about an experience you've had, and then switch to the past simple to describe the details. Or you might use the past perfect to set up a past action, and then continue with the past simple to describe what happened next.
Can you give an example of a conversation that combines different tenses?
Absolutely. Here's a dialogue.
Jack, have you ever been to Italy? Present perfect.
Emma: yes, I have. I visited Rome last summer. Past simple.
Jack, what was it like? Past simple.
Emma: it was amazing. I was walking around the Colosseum when I realized how much history there is. Past continuous and present simple.
Jack, I will definitely go there next year. By then, I will have saved enough money for the trip. Future perfect. Emma, let's go through some practical situations where we use both present and past tenses.
Sure. Let's look at a few scenarios. Situation 1: talking about daily routines. Present simple. Jack: Emma, what do you usually do in the morning? Emma: I wake up at 6 a.m., brush my teeth, and then I have breakfast. Situation 2: describing an ongoing action. Present continuous.
Jack, what are you doing right now?
Emma: I'm reading an interesting book about history. Situation 3: sharing an experience. Present perfect.
Jack, have you ever tried sushi?
Emma: yes, I have tried it before. I actually tried it for the first time last year. Situation 4: narrating a past event. Past simple.
Jack, what did you do last weekend?
Emma: I went hiking with some friends. It was a lot of fun. Situation 5: setting the scene in a story. Past continuous.
Jack, what were you doing when the storm hit?
Emma: I was driving home when it started raining heavily. Situation 6: discussing a sequence of past events. Past perfect.
Jack, did you already eat before you got here?
Emma: yes, I had eaten dinner before I left the house. Situation 7: emphasizing duration before an event. Past perfect continuous.
Jack, had you been waiting long before the concert started?
Emma: yes, I had been waiting for almost 2 hours.
Emma, what are some common mistakes learners make with present and past tenses, and how can they avoid them?
A common mistake is confusing the present perfect with the past simple. Remember, the present perfect is for actions that have relevance to the present or for life experiences, while the past simple is for actions that are completed at a specific time in the past. Another mistake is using the past continuous when the past simple is more appropriate, or vice versa. It's important to focus on whether the action was ongoing at a specific time or simply happened and ended. To avoid these mistakes, practice by identifying the timeline of events and using the tense that matches it. Consistent practice and feedback from native speakers or teachers can also help. 14 tips for mastering present and past tenses.
Do you have any tips for our listeners on mastering present and past tenses?
Absolutely. Here are some tips. Practice regularly. Use exercises and quizzes to reinforce your understanding of tenses. Listen and read. Pay attention to how tenses are used in conversations, books, and media. Speak and write. Practice using different tenses in your own speaking and writing. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. Get feedback. Work with a teacher or language partner who can correct your mistakes and help you improve. Visualize timelines when practicing. Imagine a timeline and place events on it to help determine the correct tense.
Emma, we've covered a lot of ground in this episode. What are your final thoughts on mastering present and past tenses?
Mastering present and past tenses is essential for clear and effective communication in English. It might seem challenging at first, but with practice and a clear understanding of the timelines, anyone can become proficient. Focus on the context of what you're trying to express and choose the tense that best fits the situation.
I couldn't agree more, Emma. Understanding and using tenses correctly opens up a whole new level of communication in English.
Absolutely, Jack. We encourage all our listeners to practice these tenses regularly and incorporate them into their daily language use. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
That concludes our extended episode on present and past tenses. We hope you found it educational and helpful in your journey to mastering English grammar.
Thank you for joining us on this detailed exploration of tenses. We appreciate your support and encourage you to keep practicing and learning.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, follow us on social media, and visit our website for more learning resources. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you informative and valuable content.
Until next time, this is Emma.
And this is Jack. Goodbye. Bye.
Remember to leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. Together, we can learn and make a difference.